Hello YouTube, Rangerino. Good to see you out there. Say, I know every one of you are asking yourself, what do I do with all my beaver tails? Yeah, I know you all got beaver tails laying all over the place and you say to yourself, what am I gonna do with all these things? They just keep coming and what's the deal? Now, let me just give you an idea. Here's your beaver tail. Now this leather on the outside is beautiful. You could skin that, make a wallet out of it, that sort of thing. I believe there's a place called Darling Fur and Leather, if I'm not mistaken, out of Michigan. Does a great job. I follow them and I should know their name more confidently, but I'm telling you, that's what it is, Darling Fur and Leather. Anyway, they sell patterns, etc., and she does a fantastic job making wallets out of this leather. Now, that's one thing you can do. There's multiple things you can do, but the thing I'm going to teach you today, which I want you to think about, is, yeah, I'm dressed like this because it's cold. It's cold outside, and it's going to stay cold, and that means ice. That means ice fishing. That means eating good, fresh fish. And that means you need bait. Now, we use a lot of minnows, waxworms, spikes, who knows what, right? There's all kinds of stuff, artificials, etc. But I want you to think about using beaver tail. I'm going to show you how. There's nothing to it, man. Now I'm telling you, if you ever used China bait back in the day, I've not seen it for a long time. I was told back then it was actually made of seal skin called China bait. This is very much like China bait. This stuff is tough. It's oily. It lasts a long time on the hook. I mean, you put one of these babies on and you're good for the whole day catching a limit of fish, let me tell you. It's really, really nice stuff. It reminds me in the consistency of, for those of you that are older, Uncle Josh's pork rind, all right? They used to use pork rind. We had little jars, kind of a salty solution, different colors, different shapes, different styles, frog style. You used it when you're casting for northerns. Why not use this when you're casting for northerns in the summer? Why not use this to dress up a tip-up treble hook with just a chunk hanging on it, that kind of thing. You can do many, many things with this. I'm going to show you what I do primarily for pan fishing, all right? So let's get on with the program. All right, so all you really need is a good sharp knife and a chunk of beaver tail. Now you can see the consistency is white. It's fatty white, and it looks like it's going to be nothing, but believe me, it's something. Now, this particular piece is frozen. I'm going to see if I can work it with the knife here. Give me a good board, good sharp knife. What I generally do is I will cut a piece off. Be careful because it's tough. You got to use a lot of force generally to cut it. And with a sharp knife and a lot of force, that can be a dangerous combination, all right? But like I say, the key is, there we go, come on, baby. Get a chunk, small chunk. Again, more of a panfish approach here. Trying to be safe with that stuff and the sharp knife. All right, so you see I cut a small piece. This white section here is what you're gonna wanna use. I don't use the black skin. I take it like this, and hopefully you can see, watch me here. All right, so I'm gonna just take, and I will, come on, baby. They say it's froze. When it's thawed, it's a little easier to work with. Maybe if I come down the edge like this. There we go. I just take that outer black skin off, all right? Like yay. Just removing that, all right? Now, don't take a lot with it. You want to leave as much of that white meat as you can. Just take a nice thin shaving, take that black skin off, right? Now, you're left with a beautiful little chunk. With this, you could take and just shave a tiny little piece like that, all right? Now you got yourself kind of a waxworm shaped piece of meat. I tapered this one down on the end I would put the hook through the fatter part here, and once that's in the water, it will become very limber. And again, you can see the oil probably on my fingers. I mean, it's going to let out an oil slick when you put her in the water, and that will help with the fishing component. Very tough. Now, you could do it like this as well. Take another piece. Maybe you want to get creative. You want to make a split tail out of it, huh? What do you think? Throw that on a jig for walleye. Blair, Trapper Terry, Big Mitch, Boys Up North, Mark Pro, James Gang, Mick, all you guys who love to fish, give that a try, all right? You're limited only by your imagination here. You could, I don't know, what other shape could we take on here? You know, maybe you want to take a big chunk like that for walleye. I don't know. But you can make it as small or as big as you want. You can be as creative as you want. You could make a triple tail if you wanted out of this stuff. But this is going to last and last and last. I'm telling you, it's good, tough stuff. But once it gets in the water, it becomes supple and will be quite malleable. Now here, maybe you could see that oil on my blade just from cutting that. Nice oily stuff. You can cut them in advance like this. Let's get a couple made up ahead. So when you get out there, you got it in your pocket, see? And it's all thawed out. And maybe you take a small one like this and you split that to get a little more action in that tail. Come on, got too thin on that one, I guess, or I'm pulling too hard. There we go. There we go. Now I got myself a little itty bitty fork tail. See that? Just like a minnow on there. And again, you can slice up in advance, have these ready to go. You could use a wedge like that. That's pretty much the end of my creativity. Maybe you can think of more. Comment if you think of more shapes to cut and designs to cut. But there you got an idea of what we got going, see? There's definitely some potential here. I've caught fish. Now, some days it's gonna work, some days it's not. But when it does, you're gonna thank me. And you're gonna say, Ranger, that's some good stuff. Again, I'm trying to live life large. I'm living her full, keeping it simple. Keep it simple. Use your beaver tails, all right? This is good stuff, man. Perch, bluegill, crappie, walleye, northern. Again, maybe you take the bigger chunk like that and you put her off to the side on your treble hook, or even bigger yet. I mean, good Lord, look at the size of that tail. You could put a whole great big chunk on there. I'm going fishing up in Minnesota in a couple weeks. They say there's 9 inches of ice up there already. And we plan to set a couple tip-ups out while we're crappie fishing. Tell you what I'll do. I'll take a big piece of beaver tail, put that on a treble hook, and we'll land a fish on it for you. All right, until then, keep on fishing, set the hook, live your life large, live it full, keep it simple. Ranger Reno, over and out.